Well, I broke it. I don't know what I broke, but it's broken. There's something missing. Alright, so when you guys saw on the track video, we ran into a problem. That problem being a boost leak. So I've been going non-stop ham with the smoke machine, trying to find leaks. As I showed you, we found the leaks on the manifold, fixed those, no more leaks out of that. So now I'm attacking basically the charge piping and everything related to the turbo. Couldn't really find anything coming out, so but that really doesn't build pressure, so take it with a grain of salt. I went on a personal hunch that I may have messed up a little bit, so I yanked the turbo, and I had bought another O-ring, but it seems that the O-ring they say is right is way too small, I guess, for trial and error. So what I did is there was actually a bolt that was broken on the compressor housing. So got that out, I got a new bolt, I cleaned up everything, I put the O-ring back on, put the compressor housing back on, bolted it down nicely. So it seems to be sitting like it should. What I'm actually going to do at this point is test with this guy. I'm going to put this one in because we know I haven't messed with it. It all bolts together the same, so we're going to put that in and we're going to take a drive and see what happens. Hopefully that solves it. Kind of hope not. If it still does the same thing, I'm going to move on to the blow-off valve. So my blow-off valve sits down in this dark abyss, and it's a cheap little eBay one. So cheap eBay, good chance. What we're going to do is I'm going to put this True Gritty one in and try again. Also at that point, what I'm going to do, they have a boost leak tester. Yeah. So basically, a cup like this with a hard end that's got a pressure gauge on it. You take your compressor, you hook to it, and you build pressure in the system. At least in the charge piping and everything like that. So you'll be able to see if it's leaking down anywhere and hopefully find it. So I'll order one of those, figure out what size I need, and try from there. I am bound to figure this out and get this back to the track one more time this year. The turbo and the blow-off valve don't do anything. Supposedly wastegate could be a problem. So it's a tile. We have a Turbonetics. Yeah. We have a Turbonetics on the shelf to hopefully try. Before we go all that far, let me get this turbo back in and we'll take a drive. I got a new 45 for the turbo since this one has a 2.5 out and not a 2. So that's really all I needed to switch turbos. Everything else is identical apparently. What I am going to do is I'm tired of fighting. I didn't have to another car, but I was trying to cut a little less, but I'm at the point now with whatever. So I'm actually going to open this up some more. That way there's a little more access from underneath if I need it, especially to do the bolts, because the downpipe is just a bear when it comes to that. So we're going to do that, slap that turbo on, and hopefully take it for a drive. Alright, so test 1. We ran into some problems. Started idling funny, so hooked up the laptop. Here the mass airflow sensor was all over the place. Random. I figured, hey, I got a new one on the shelf. Let's try that. Plugged it in. Seemed to be alright. And so took it for a drive. As soon as I turned the corner to go on the main road, it started bucking and kicking. Leaning out like crazy. So I just kind of putzed all the way back over here. Hooked the laptop back up again. And it was still doing it. So what I found is I started wiggling stuff. Well, at this joint right here, as I was wiggling it, it was jumping. So I started undoing the tape, and first this guy fell off, and then as I undid the tape, the other ones fell off too. So redo those connections, put my old mass airflow sensor back on, because when you hold this in a certain place, it held 0 like it was supposed to, and you know, red when I blew through it. So hopefully the issues stop, because didn't even get to see if it built boost. So alright, so we got the mass airflow fixed. Still boosting problems. So next we're gonna go ahead and tackle that blow off valve and change it with a different one and see if that helps. So when I got back from one of the test drives, I heard some hissing down like that, and sounded like something in the cooling system. So put our pressure tester on here, and that guy started to leak. So tying it down and letting it sit there for a minute while I do something else to hopefully that was it. It was so strange, just ever so slightly hissing. Nothing ever leaked until I just did that, so never ending. I think we found what the problem was. So after changing the turbo and no difference, I went after the blow-off valve, because I have this pretty eBay one that I bought, I don't know, probably 3 years ago. Well, it was really loose. So I put the gritty one on that we had on the shelf, and it seems to be alright. So let's take a drive and I'll show you, hopefully, that it's working again. Safety first. Just gonna go out main road and come back in just as a test. So, seems to hold. I'm gonna say we're back in business, because we're back to that 7-ish area on the wastegate. I did put the controller back on, so now I just gotta go back through and try to figure out where I was, because I did have it right about the 10 mark. There's also a pipe I've been wanting to change. Ooh. We got a leaky. That's what I like doing these tests once in a while. Never know what you'll find. Anyway, so I've been wanting to change this pipe. If I can get to it. Oh, there it is. Came with everything I got before, but that just kind of made it work. So finally went and ordered a new one. Downfall of the SCT kit here. This thing takes all kinds of abuse. Yeah, so it kind of oval, it's dense. So yeah, let's change that out. So I mean, it's not exactly what this was made out of, which I'm thinking might have been like a U-bend, but I'm able to make it pretty close. Little trial and error. It's basically making a new piece. So I'm gonna take off a little down here. All right, I think it's time for a ride. All right, so that's when you be back in business. I'm gonna wash her up and put her back away for now, because I'm not sure when I'll have her out again, but stupid trees dropping sap, so it needs a bath. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully look forward to get this thing to the track one more time and see what she can do. It seems to be pulling really good now. I still have the other turbo on there, and I might just leave it on there for now because it's a headache trying to change it. So just see what it does on that and go from there and just keep having fun with it. But that's all for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.